Therapy Army. Let's be having you, Therapy Army. Let's be having you. Let's be having you, Therapy Army. Big up. Welcome to United Real Therapy. I'm your host, Mr.
Big up,
Sean.
big up.
Big up to Sean. Listen, that was like first half was like watching paint dry. It's like you painted your wall and you sat there and you just watching it dry. That's what that was. Second half slightly bit better in terms of controlling it a little bit, having a bit more control of the game. Nottingham Forest were toothless, and we're grateful that Casemiro and Bruno sorted it out. But oh my God, all our players, Garnacho, poor, poor, Bruno, poor, Anthony going forward, poor. I mean, it's just we're literally like it's just like this. The way the team's playing, the lack of confidence. It looks like there's 2 games to go under the season, and we're just waiting to finish the season. That's what they're performing like. There's no energy. The only player that was Diego Dalot.
That's the problem, right? That's why I'm kind of sympathetic to the manager, even though I blame him for several things. It just seems to me that like the problem is application, right? Like it's not really, from my perspective, it's not really like a tactical or ability thing. It's application, right? And that's also the manager's job. It's his job to get the best out of these guys. But somewhere along the line, I think the dressing room is just not a happy place. That's what it looks like to me. It's not a happy place in that United dressing room. The guys probably, some people are beefing with each other. They're probably cliques as they were under Ole. And like something that it stinks, basically. Like the football, it just stinks. In general. Definitely. But yeah, it was a boring game. I'm glad that we won. I'm in a group chat with some Arsenal fans. So I'm trolling them basically that at least we have a better chance of winning a trophy than they do. This season. So yeah, quarterfinal way, here we come. It's at Old Trafford. Crazier things have happened than us, going all the way. So yeah. I mean there isn't much to take from this game other than to say that it's same old, same old. We're glad for the victory. The team is in a terrible. We're just horrible. Like right now, we're shit. Like left, right, center, forward, back, front. We're just shit. Like in general. And it's really bad at this point in time.
I'm muted. Big up to everybody, man. Yeah. We are, it looks like devoid of confidence, devoid of any energy, devoid of, honestly, it's just pathetic watching. It's like, it's painful watching this team. It's so painful. But you know what? Tonight, Erik ten Hag lives to fight another day and Casemiro bails him out. Literally bails him out. I don't know how he hurt his head. Why is he bleeding? Because I didn't see anything happen for the goal. And it's a bit weird, but big up Eski. How you doing, Eski? Welcome.
Yo, safe boys. How we going? You okay?
You watched that game while we were working? Did you watch the game?
No, I watched it. I watched the whole thing. Yeah, it was dross, innit? Absolutely dross. Bit better than Fulham, minute, but it's not saying much. But at the same time, Joe, it reminded me of it's just a typical cup game. Even under Fergie at times, it's just a scrappy game because there's no points on the line and it's whatever, and it was going to extra time, and you don't want that. So both teams are going to have to go for it. Yeah, it was absolutely horrendous. I'm not going to come here and say, well, actually this and this, because, my own eyes can tell me it was absolutely terrible. But we're into the next round, and I'm just glad that we've drawn Liverpool at home. Because if we drew Liverpool at Anfield, you might as well do something else that day. Do you know what I mean? You might as well just fucking think. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Sean. So Liverpool at home, it's a bit different. I think we beat Liverpool during the COVID season at home in the FA Cup. I remember that. That was a great game. Bruno, free kick. Another player scored that I can't mention, but that was a great game under Ollie that day. But you're mute, Nerden. You're mute.
Mr. Number 11.
Yeah, I can't say his name on here. His name is Shadow Banned on here. I'm joking. I can't say his name. But listen, no. In all seriousness, no. Look, I think we got a good chance of winning this cut off, winning the only trophy we're going to win is fucking this, and let's have it right. But you get through Liverpool, and even if you got City at the end, it'll give you some belief. Beating Liverpool at home in the cup should give you belief into these players, and fucking God knows they need it, man, because we are playing absolutely terrible. But big up Ten Hag, needs to fight another day, and like they said in commentary, this was his 10th change of centre back partnership this season. absolutely horrendous. The staff and the decision to let Alvaro Fernandez go out been terrible. Where is Tyrone Malacia? What start a GoFundMe page to help to find Tyrone Malacia. We'll link it with the Finding Zamiasi. We'll do a collab, Finding Zamiasi, Finding Tyrone Malacia, because they might be together somewhere. I don't know where my man is. Wan-Bissaka might have to go on that list as well. So as it stands, listen, I'm just buzzing that we're through. Terrible performance, but it's a typical cup game.
Big up Nick Nash. Nick Nash is what's the difference between Arsenal and the tea bag? The tea bag stays in the cup. No, an Arsenal. Big up everybody, man. Big up everybody. He won't be our manager next season, waffling after the game. Listen, it is what it is. He's got to say, he's got to try to pick the players up. Big up Nura and Guest, man. Big up to my brother. Lesso.
Yeah, he has to try, right? Like I don't understand why like what fans think the manager would come after the game and say like, oh, Rashford was shit. Today Bruno was shit. I keep telling him like he has to say, he has to be a politician basically. He has to say the correct things, try and placate people, try and manage the egos of his dressing room and all of that. Ten Hag is going from game to game. He's literally fighting for his life as we speak right now, even though I think largely his job is safe. That's my own personal opinion. But like outwardly, he has to fight. Like he has to fight. And again, victory, winning, it breeds more winning. Like it breeds victory, it breeds confidence. It's infectious. It goes around the squad. So somebody was joking that like, when they pan to a shot of the bench that we had today, somebody was joking that like they're going to bring out bibs, the bibs that you give babies to eat. We're going to share cookies and Milo, because the bench that we had essentially today was full of kids. I don't know how many managers can survive based like with that stat that SK just brought up of having to change center backs. I think was it the sixth time you said in one season or so?
I think 10th different
time.
like partnership.
Yeah, so we can talk about like squad planning and all of that, and that's where I criticized Ten Hag, like how he has managed the squad. But that's not something that you can plan for. You can't legislate for that. Like, and it would take an exceptionally gifted manager to still be where United fans think the club should be, wherever that is, despite like everything that we've gone through this season. So and I'll just say like I don't mind that Alvaro is out somewhere else learning his trade. He shouldn't have been at United this season, because I don't think they plan for what we've seen with Malacia and Luke Shaw. So I'm like, let him just stay where he is, continue to develop as a footballer. Come back, we'll see you next season, Alvaro. Just continue to play well, try, hustle, do what you can, and we'll see you next year. He's not going to solve our problems this season.
No, but he's an option though, because we happen to play. I'm honestly, Nuruddin, Amrabat's performance today was sackable. That was a sackable performance. The first touch, the back passing, it was a sackable performance. Honestly, do you know at half time if you could sack a player? Yeah, and I've been serious. Amrabat. I would have said to him, bro, this isn't the level, man. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, Sean. My heart was in my mouth.
You're not wrong. And I would just say that, like, I was never convinced by Amrabat. Never. From the beginning, I didn't think it was worth our time. To me, he looks every bit like a 10 million euros player. That's what he looks like. He looks like his value. He looks like a player that is valued at 10 million euros, which is, I think, not even Premier League quality. So like I'm not surprised anything I'm seeing from Amrabat. Although I think
that's a bit harsh. I thought second half he was one of our best players. He got into midfield more positionally. He was spreading the balls out wide. The first half he was horrendous because he's not played. He's been to that.
No, so I was about to say that. I was about to say that Nuruddin,
for him to start playing. So let's not make out there was some good players on that pitch. Our big players were also bag of shite as well.
Nuruddin, I was about to agree with you, right? That I think for the game against City, for example, I think Amrabat is our best option for left back instead of Lindelof. Amrabat is okay at left back, provided he doesn't have to run. Like if he can just keeping our width, like so he was keeping the width for the squad, and he was drifting into the middle, like Nuruddin was saying. I think he was the only one that was able to switch flanks. I think do a crossfield pass here and there. But he was okay today.
I thought he was our most effective player in the second half. I thought he was the most effective player in the second half. That was try to at least find Rashford or find Garnacho on that side or find Diego Dalot on this side. I thought
Yeah,
he took control of the second half.
back to goal, Amrabat is okay. But anything that involves him under pressure or facing our goal or having
Chasing
to
the winger.
run, chasing a winger, anything like that,
He's
yeah,
not a left back.
is
He's not a
I
left
know,
back.
yeah.
I know, but this is what I'm saying. No, but to Sean's point with the Alvaro thing, it's there like we've been left so short. You got to put Lindelof there, who can't. He had a good game today at centre back, to his credit. You put Amrabat there, who's rusty and he comes into it, and then Origi just outpaced him. Imagine you City got on the right, fucking if you play whoever there, man, they're absolutely
Whoever
killing.
it is, yeah.
Kill him, absolutely kill him. So that's my fear. But I agree with you. Second half he was good, but that first half of Amrabat just shows the deficiencies of him as a
To be
left
fair,
back.
the rest of the team, we were all shy as well. And
Yeah.
McTominay, your coach, John, had all the chances tonight.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
but like,
he
he had a
scared.
lot of chances. He had a lot
He
of
missed
chances,
saves,
yes.
man. He
Two
missed the
chances.
But
sticker.
Two
he
chances.
had
Yeah.
chances, yes. But I would argue that like McTominay is doing precisely what the manager wants from him, and I'm not gonna take anything away from that. McTominay is the midfielder that we have that makes runs into the opposition box. He's deliberately in there to try and get to the on the end of crosses. Essentially, we all know that like if Ten Hag has his way, he wouldn't be starting McTominay. But in this kind of game, I think it made sense to bench Kobe Minu. I think McTominay actually looked decent in this game. Like he had a couple of chances. He was getting about. He was involved in play. The person I really want to talk about right now is Bruno Fernandez, because honestly, I don't know what we're going to do about this guy. And the manager refuses to drop him. Right. So when Anthony came off in this game and Ahmad came on, I would have liked to prefer to see Ahmad on for Bruno.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that last minute contribution that Bruno had for the Casemiro goal justifies keeping him on for 90 minutes when he's playing trash. On the off chance that like in the 91st minutes he would do something that could contribute to a goal. I think Bruno needs to be taken out of the starting lineup, but it's not going to happen for the near future because we have crucial games for the remainder of the season.
Yeah. It's just, Bruno is a bit. Big up, Malcolm. Malcolm, welcome to the stream. What did you think about the game tonight? Big up to you. Long time.
Big up, man. Big up the chat. Big up everyone in the comments. Big up Aaron. Yeah, man. Poor performance. I literally almost slept through the whole thing. Yep, Aaron literally just sitting right there, almost fell asleep. Nah, literally, like the first half was so boring. Um, you know, it's just the same shit, same thing we've been seeing all season. Passing backwards, pedestrian. You know what I mean? Not moving forward. Just we can't even string even at least two or three passes together. Like it's just passing backwards. Forwards look dangerous, I'd say, in the first half. You know what I mean? And honestly, to be honest with you, I think both sides were poor. Forest weren't that great. Um, the issue is the main issue is that we just couldn't take our chances. Um, you know, thank God Casemiro, came in clutch. Thank God that he got the winning goal at the end. But again, taking our chances, there were a lot of chances that we could have scored and made it at least 2 or 3-0. We should have won that game. Like that should have been like 4-0, especially even in the first half. So yeah, taking your chance, just not taking our chances, giving the ball away, and it was just boring. Boring. The play that I want to take a shot at is Anthony. This guy is just so um awful. Like this, like there's just nothing to his game. The only thing he has is just his left foot, and that's it. The only thing he can do is just cut in and just shoot with his left foot. Can't doesn't take on a man, doesn't try or maybe try with his right foot. Like there's just nothing else. Like there's nothing that I see with Anthony. So yeah, but other than that, I mean, I'm good. I'm glad that we're through to the quarterfinals. You know what I mean? Liverpool. We've got Liverpool at home. Which the fans should be up for it. I mean, I'll definitely be up for that game. But listen, this football isn't sustainable. We're due. I think Rance has said this again. We're doing a hammering. City on Sunday is gonna be a hammering. If we play the way we played against Forest, like that against City, it's lights out. So
Wait, what's so?
yeah,
I mean, what's more likely to happen against City is that we offer nothing, we offer zero, nothing, and end up losing 2-0. Or it's a very boring match. We have, we offer up nothing. We don't put up any fights really, aside from defending our goal and trying to minimize damage. But I don't agree with Rance when he says we'll do trashing or anything like that. I also don't.
yeah,
Because personally, I can't relate to a fan who doesn't celebrate a goal when United scores
yeah,
because of
yeah. I
because
feel
of
you.
one agenda or
Yeah,
the other.
I
I
Um,
feel
jumped
you.
out of my
Yeah.
seat. I was like, get in. Because I knew that. I don't celebrate too early. I jumped up and I thought, oh shit, he's
Yeah,
offside.
yeah,
So I had to
offside. Yeah, nah.
no,
yeah,
listen,
Um,
I don't celebrate goals anymore because I think they're going to be offside till I get the check. And after
no,
Yeah.
that,
that's
right.
that's different
VAR,
from.
VAR
But
spoiled football.
but
I
you see,
spoiled celebration.
you
Big
see,
up
one of the
Ariane, by
things
the
that
way. One second. Big up Shaq
yeah,
Ariane. I
no
hope
worries.
you're having a lovely time in Spain. You deserve that break. Enjoy.
Give up, man.
I hope
Yeah,
you're in a
Yeah.
sunny place.
Yeah, and
but
again,
yeah,
just Malcolm, just additional pushback. I would
yeah, no
actually
worries.
like to see Anthony in the game against City. I know Anthony has been not so great,
Right.
but I think defensively,
Mm-hmm.
from what we would need from that City game, I think
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see Anthony
Mm.
on the right for that game. But I don't know, maybe we'll get to that part of the show, Nuridian.
Yeah, but look, as I said again, one thing that this team has done to us is that they have sucked all the emotion out of us. So even if you celebrate a goal, right, it's like we know that this team is going to, either hold on dearly until this lead, right? And we've seen this so many times this season is that even though we go like see, one or two goals up, right? There's always that there's always those moments where United are just gonna fumble under pressure. And so it's like it's
Yeah.
no like but like
No, I'm
you
not.
got
No,
you got
listen, I'm laughing
oh
at
yeah,
this Hector. He said
oh,
Anthony
okay.
was our best attacking
Yeah.
player.
Uh
No, but
I don't know
Nuridian, he
what it is.
actually looked
No, he
like.
played.
I
Listen,
yeah,
mean, yeah,
defensively he was good.
yeah,
Defensively he was good. He trapped back, especially in the first half. He got his man.
yep.
He gave us that. But come
Mm.
on, up the pitch, he gave us nothing. But
It
I
was
want to
okay.
hold that thought, Malcolm. I'll come back to
Yeah, no
you.
worries.
Big up
Yeah.
to Jarvis, regular Jarvis. See, how
Big
you
up.
doing, Jarvis? How's the family?
I'm
Everything
fine.
good?
I'm fine. I'm glad we won the game. It was one of
That's
those
it.
games. It could have go either way, but we were lucky. We scored first, and we scored last to say, and that was good. It was a nervy game. We
Yep.
conceded 17 shots, I think, or was it 16? So the defensive
I
play
know
is
we
not
could.
good.
I know we conceded 12 shots at half time. I knew that.
Yeah. But I just want to say big up to Ten Hag for his in-game management. Actually, today
Mm.
he did a change that impressed me because he moved Amrabat to the right
Yeah,
and Dalot to the left, and suddenly everything clicked.
yeah.
Amrabat inverted, played
Better. Way better.
in a
They
pivot
have
with Casemiro,
Casemiro.
and
Yeah.
and and actually we played the second half more like a 2-3 formation, the same as Guardiola plays at Manchester
Yeah.
City. We were in balance. We had a box in the midfield, two holding and
Yeah.
two attacking
Up
midfielders,
the pitch.
and
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
utilized Bruno higher up the pitch, so it was easier for Bruno to play, and Casemiro wasn't alone, so we could see Casemiro thrive. He was more free to attack also, and that's the thing with that
And
formation.
we
It's
weren't
easy to
open to the
interchange
counter
the
attack.
roles.
Yeah, we weren't as open in the second after the counter attack.
Yes.
We
And
minimized their
that's
counter attack.
and these are the small subtle things that you don't even pay attention to, but I saw it, spotted
But
it right
saying
away,
all
and
that, Jarvis,
everything. Yeah.
saying all that, it was dull. It was like watching paint dry. Let's be real.
Yeah, but
Okay,
we,
man.
Watching
the
paint
biggest
dry.
problem is we lack a striker. We playing with
Mm.
Rashford is playing without the striker in a way. We have no build up point. We have no one to hit when we try to build up, and we struggled playing out from the back because we couldn't hit it long because we didn't have an out on Højlund. That was a big problem, and we can see the deficiencies of Lindelof and Varane trying to play out from the back. And with Amrabat on the left, every time he received the ball, he was very robotic in his movement. He had to move his body this way and only pass it sideways or back. So we didn't gain anything. We didn't gain any ground going forward, trying to play out from the back. So that was a big problem today. But we solved it, and I think the second half was much better. So that's what I'm trying to take the positives.
Listen, big up Sheikh Arian. Nuruddin, I'm actually in college alongside tennis student, which is some of my mates, and his football project in Valencia. Way, check him out, eh? Gary Neville tried. You know what I mean? Got the sack. Sheikh Arian's going, mate. He's going.
Interim Sheikh Arian, interim job.
Arian is there, mate. Taking over Valencia. Valencia is a beautiful city, man. It's beautiful.
Good team
city,
as well.
man.
Good side.
I love
good side.
Valencia. It's so nice. The food. Big up, man. Listen, enjoy the nice food, man. Enjoy the Spanish food. Mwah.
Of all the things about like
the bars, you can go to bars and just the little things that they have at the bars. Oh my god.
of all the problems with this guy, what's his name, Gary Neville, I actually like the fact that he was able to admit that, you know what, I'm better off talking about football than actually managing. It takes a lot of courage to admit that, I'm not cut off with this management stuff.
The time in the UK right now is 3 minutes to 11. Sheikh Arian, 3 minutes to 11. Yeah, big up to you though. Big up to everybody. Please, there's nearly 140 of you in here. Please smash a like on the video. We're shadow banned. Subscribe, like, share. Let people know about the channel. We talk about we try to uphold universal human rights, and we see everybody's humanity on this channel. And we speak up for people who are being dehumanized and genocided and have war crimes against. And we're shadow banned. Saeed noticed the other day when we were live here on Monday, he noticed that he couldn't even get it on the channel. When you go on the YouTube channel, it doesn't even come out on the main. You're gonna have to go there and find the video. So we're definitely shadow ban people, and that all of you know that. So please smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Hit that, you know what I mean, and just let people know about the channel. If you're for human rights, if you're for a community, if you're seeing the humanity of everybody, if you're against oppression, wherever it may be, all around local and global, then you've got the right channel. But big up. Anthony hasn't played in weeks. Damn well should have put the decent show in. Yeah, well, you're asking for much here. No, how you're not amplifying Rashford or Garnacho were better than Anthony. No, they were not. No, they're not. He actually tracked back better than them, but all three of them were useless up front. All of them. And that's probably one of the worst games I've seen Garnacho play for Manchester United, actually. His decision-making today was really off. Bruno did fuck all apart from the assist. Yeah, of course he did. And you know what? Shameless Statman Dave. I see the thing on Twitter. It's shameful. It's
no, but okay, let's push back and have some context right now. Let's discuss with context. And but the truth is that, like, on one hand,
it's shameful, Sean.
No, but those are stats. They are not lies. But those stats are real. They're not based on lies. They're not made up out of whole
Do you think he played
the question, well? So the question for an observer is to say, how much of these stats am I going to rely on versus my eye test, right? But those stats are real. They are undeniable. They are facts, basically. That's data for you. The question for any manager or anybody looking at the data is how much of the data I should factor into my decision making versus using the eye test. You can't rely on data alone, and you can't rely on the eye test alone. You have to consider both of them. And I think the lesson from those stats should be that's probably part of the reason why Bruno plays so much. Because when you remove all the gloss and the glitz and gam and look at the data, the actual data for what he does, he's a machine.
Yeah, big up. Lesso, sorry, brother. Sorry, King. Big up to you, Lesso. Talk to me about today's game and what you thought of it.
We knew we were gonna. I think we more or less thought that we would bounce back somewhat. Get a positive result, which was very vital for us. But we still have problems. We still conceded so many shots. And again, I look at the opposition themselves. They are fighting a relegation battle, so it could be that they were not 100% focus on today's game because they have a relegation battle that they are undergoing at the moment. So that could be also be a factor and an advantage, an added advantage to us. So I'm not gonna get giddy. Like I told you guys, I know where this club is at right now, in terms of performances, in terms of managerial, in-game performances as well. Yeah, but it's just a positive result, and you can't obviously be negative about that. But I still think we will, it's gonna get it's really gonna get ugly, I think, against Man City. We can see that the writing's on the wall with that, unless we actually put 10 people behind the ball. That's the only way I see us actually getting a somewhat of a, maybe we may try and reduce the scoreline instead of like getting battered 6 or 7-0. So yeah, that's all I can say. But result, you can't be you cannot criticize the result. It's a perfect result for Man United, especially after a turbulent week. And yeah, Ten Hag breathes another day, and the squad, disgusting how they're actually asking for time away in a way, after a barren of poor results. So, but yeah, what can we say? A win is a win, guys. A win is a win.
Casemiro
You're
for
on mute.
now has definitely saved. Let's talk about the manager. So the manager, big up to Eski. Eski, is this a shades of Mark Robin saving Fergie's job against
Nottingham Forest.
what do you call it? Against Nottingham Forest
Forest
back
in
in
the
the
cup.
day. Do you remember?
But
You
well, my
remember
dad
that?
told me that early on. My dad said the first thing in it. He told me about all Fergie's tenure. He was like he was going to get sacked, and Mark Robin saved his career. So I know the story. I've seen the goal, and it is quite famous. People hark back to it today. But you could look at it. You could look at it one way and say, yeah, a little bit. I mean, your manager's under pressure. There's a new ownership, especially, so there is more pressure on him. But I think. Ten Hag is right in a way. Look, the performances have been shit. I'm not going to say we've been amazing all season and everyone's just gone nuts, but we are, we had a string of like 8 games and we've lost 1 and drew 1. 1 was to Spurs in the league, right? That's pretty good form. Okay, who do we play in that time? Listen, it's the Premier League, is what it is. We should have come here today and got battered, according to most people. And for large parts of the game, it was 50-50. Very scrappy game, but it's kind of saved his job. Yeah, do you know what might save his job even more, though? If we beat Liverpool at home, I think even if we don't win this cup, I think he's still got credit in the bank there. Look, this is Klopp's last hurrah. Fucking all the officials, all the Premier League, they're trying to give him X, Y, Z. You know what they're like in Liverpool bias, in it, because everyone who's old enough to remember, everyone who grew up with Liverpool being on top, they're in these positions at BT Sports and Sky Sports. This is why they get all this coverage and propaganda. And look at their VR decisions this season's in it. It's been a joke. But for me, I think if we beat Liverpool at home, I think that might be the Mark Robbins moment. It's not actually Forest today. I think if we beat Liverpool at home, I think the fans will have enough there to say, look at that team that Liverpool can put out, especially if they've got a full strength side. We show up with our lot and we manage to do them in at home. I think that's enough for the fans to say, do you know what? We'll see how it goes next season. So I think that will be the Mark Robbins moment. It wasn't today. It's definitely not today. It'll be at home against the Scousers.
Now, big up Mix Mitchell, man. Yeah, big up Ski. Big up Mix Mitchell. It says, yeah, we're benefiting from solid structure from top to bottom where all the teams play the same way. Only difference between the youth and seniors is the size of the kit. Future's bright for Liverpool. Certainly is, man. What they did against Chelsea in that injury time, I was absolutely blown away and shocked by. They kept the ball, man. They kept the ball. Listen, I'll go to Malcolm. Malcolm, did you take any positives onto the weekend from the game tonight? Is there something that we can tangibly go, yeah, come on. It's a derby. 11 against 11 on that pitch. Let's do it.
I mean, the only positive that I can take is that we're through, and I mean, this is the only cup competition that we have left. Besides that, the season's already a write off. I mean, the only thing I want from this team is that they should show at least some fight, show fight against City. I know, yes, it's at the Etihad. Yes, fans are gonna the City fans are gonna go crazy. Haaland's in form, De Bruyne's in form, but at least show fight, show something. At least show us that this season, at least at least show us that you can try and finish the season strong. You know what I mean? The worst thing that can happen is if City just go all guns blazing and we just don't do anything about it. So my my point is that United, the team should just try and show fight against City. You know what I mean? Don't Don't go out there and just say, oh well, it's City, so well, we'll, we're just not gonna do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Try and go there and get at least a point. I'll take a
give
draw.
a performance at least. Yeah,
I'll take a draw. Yeah, I'll take a draw.
There's no shame in getting beat, but give a performance at least. You know what I mean? But like you said, show fight. Any positives from tonight into the weekend, Jarvis? Anything that you saw other than that little bit of tactical change?
Yeah, I see a lot of things that's positive. I see a lot of people not happy with the performance, but you got to remember one vital thing. If we had Højlund in this team today, we would have probably won the game with the 2 to 3 goals, because we were toothless up front because of Rashford. We have no output with Rashford. He was like just in the way, he didn't contribute anything except from the duel he had. Maybe you should have had a penalty when he was squeezed into the middle of the two Forest players, because they shoved him in the back, and maybe it should have been a penalty. But I don't know. I didn't see it that many times on a rerun. But I think I saw a lot of positives today. For example, McTominay was driving with the ball. He was dribbling, and when Amrabat came into the midfield, we had a ball carrier who could carry the ball forward, and we missed that. We never had a player who can run with the ball and actually drive it forward with a little bit of pace, not just walk it forward. So that was positive. I liked what I saw from Anthony. Anthony was solid on the ball, and he cut inside and drove with the ball, but he didn't take the greedy shot as he usually do. He stopped with the ball, looked around, and found a pass. So we created actually an overload on the opposite team. We had players on both sides, and we were creating overloads. We isolated the winger on the other side, 1-against-1. We had the crosses, and we had plenty of chances that came from our collective play in a way. So I take the positives with me. This is the things I've been looking for. Bruno higher up the pitch. We utilized the fullbacks. Casemiro coming into his role. He could both be defensively and he can interchange and contribute into attack. So there was a lot of positives for me from a tactical point of view. But the thing is, today the biggest minus was Rashford. We didn't have a striker, so that was a big problem. But you got to remember, if we had Højlund today, we would have been better. I'm not trying to force positivity down your throat. I'm just telling what I see from a tactical point of view.
You're always honest, Jarvis. You're always honest. You tell it as you see it, like most of us on here. Big up to you. Do you think that maybe it's time to put Rashford back on the left-hand side and put Scott McTominay as a striker?
Anyone but Rashford. Rashford, he's a waste. He contributes nothing up front. Nothing.
Alan Shearer actually give it to.
Yeah.
Alan Shearer, yeah.
I would rather put Onana as a striker. I think he would do a better job than Rashford.
Yeah, but Shearer's complaints was about Rashford's body language, his attitude, and all that kind of stuff. I actually agree with everything that Jarvis said in terms of positives, except from the Rashford critique. I thought Rashford looked better today than he did against Fulham. And I think if Rashford feels up to it, like I think he can be dangerous on the attack. I at the beginning of the show complained that he didn't play well, but I think he was better today than against Fulham. And I agree with all the positives that Jarvis highlighted. In addition to the fact that I think Onana looks like he's starting to find his feet in the United team. He seems a bit more confident
everything
now.
Everything was straight at him. Everything was down his throat. Come on. Everything straight at him. Sean.
Yeah,
Every
but
shot.
you're talking to somebody who isn't sure whether or not Onana should be a professional footballer, right? I'm not convinced that he should be. So
There were some good saves.
yeah, so he's I'm
No.
beginning to warm up
Oh, the
towards
break
Onana
dancer
slowly.
is a break dancer for me. He's not a footballer. I
Yeah,
agree with you.
I'm not sure if he's a professional footballer, honestly, personally. So I like what I'm seeing from him now. I think also like people often abuse me on this channel a lot, Nuruddin, but hearing people talk about
No abuse of Sean people.
potentially a fight against City. What team are you talking about? I expect nothing, absolutely nothing from that game against City. I don't expect fight. I expect a very long, very difficult to watch 90 plus
Painful.
minutes.
Painful, yeah.
Painful to watch where we lose. And because of that, after the match, after the loss, when we come on this channel and discuss the game, I wouldn't be upset because I'm telling you guys now that I expect nothing from that game against City. I think it's going to be difficult. I think City are going to just toy with us. We're going to chase the ball a lot. They're going to toy around with us. I would like a good result would be a 2-0 loss. Like if we can lose by 2 goal difference, that I'm okay with that.
Wow.
But
in a derby,
yeah,
in the derby.
nah,
Wow.
forget it. All those things like derby, they don't mean as much as they used to before. Everybody's talking about like the United heritage. United heritage is the last 10 years, not the last 20 years, not 20 years ago, not even 15 years ago, maybe. It's the last 10 years. That's how you define heritage. So your expectations need to be recalibrated to what has this team done over the last decade. Based on that,
Nothing.
what should my expectations be?
Listen.
Nothing. Exactly.
Listen.
Nothing.
I set up a channel to tell the fans about that. So you're preaching to the converted here. I want to stay with you, Sean. Jamie Jackson of The Guardian. He is a respectable journalist. Covers Manchester United. He's not a Manchester United fan. His kids are, though. He come out with a report today saying that after on Saturday, was it Saturday? Yeah. Saturday, the players wanted a day off on Sunday where they usually come in for a warm down.
Yeah.
They don't train, they come in from warm down. And then they go through the game on the video with a coach. And they were telling the coaches apparently, nah, they don't fancy coming in. So, listen, I already said Eric Ten Hag needs to go at the end of the season, innit? I'm not giving him any more chances. But honestly, when I hear shit like that, it makes me want to back Eric Ten Hag for another year just for these bastards. Like, I just can't believe that.
Yeah,
I
but
can't believe that. Like, it's the same thing what they did to Ranić. Remember when they said, oh, we don't like driving at night?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Nuri, that's kind of one of my
same
issues
shit.
with that's one of my main issues with the Ten Hag outers. I think at this point, United as a club were at a crossroads, basically. You can either side with these spoilt, badly behaved players, or you can side with the manager. I don't think there's a choice in between the two. I'm not a big fan of binary choices, but in this case, I think quite clearly you have to pick one. Because if you're pushing for Ten Hag's sack, it means that you're backing these guys and you're setting them up to do the exact same thing to another manager. That's the way I see it. You have to allow the manager to instill the discipline, to fail, to make mistakes, and to pick back up whatever you can pick back up next year. But if you allow these players to sack another manager, if you allow these guys to sack another manager, we would be here again. But we can't within the realm of possibilities.
I'm sorry, Sean. I'm different. To me, Ten Hag goes. Bruno, Rashford, all those pricks have to go as well. All of them have to go.
That's not a possibility. So within the realm of possibilities, you can either sack the manager or sell a handful of players.
I'm sorry. If Ineos wants to come in and have a fresh start, they have to do that. They have to get rid of. They must know by now.
No, that's a radical proposition, Nurdin. That's not going to happen.
They have to go.
That's not going to happen.
Let me give you my reasons. Why Eric Ten Hag has got to go. He believes only in 13 players. He believes that not doing stuff in training and seeing it on match day. He believes that things that have to be done on the football pitch. I can't have that. I'm sorry. This ain't the fucking area divisor. This is the Premier League. You need 18 to 19 to 20 players, and you need them to be training with each other and playing matches in training and game scenarios so everybody knows what the game plan is. So when your players are injured, then the other players can come in. You can still have your system. The quality might drop, but it's still the system. You still do the same things. He doesn't believe in that. That's the reason why I say I've been catfished. That's the
No,
reason
but
why Eric Ten Hag has to
I don't
go
know
for
if I
me.
agree with
Has
you.
to go
I don't
for
know if
me.
I agree
He
with you
has
that he doesn't believe in that, right, Nuruddin? Because from what I saw from last season, and again, remember my point that I don't think Ten Hag has been able to
God,
have
he said it
a
himself.
steady. No,
Sean, he said it
let me just
himself.
let me just address your specific point, Nuruddin. I don't think Ten Hag has had or United has had a consistent progression between last season and this season. As I mentioned, I think 2 episodes ago, I think last season we're going through a whole drama. This season we're going through a whole other drama. But if I look at Ten Hag's choices, bringing in Malaysia, the way he managed Malaysia and Luke Shaw, the way he managed Wan-Bissaka and Dalot, it seems to me like left to the manager, he would like to have quality options. He's used McTominay this season, bringing him off from the bench. The way he wanted to use Marshall in theory, as a backup for Højlund, use both of them intermittently. Early on in this, many people were criticizing the manager for playing Marshall so much before Højlund started playing well for us. But that's because it looks to me like the manager would like to be able to do what you're saying, Nuruddin. He would like to be able to do it. But these players are fucking spoiled brats. These are fat cats players who think they are more than what they are, right? And who aren't willing to fight for the squad, basically. So the manager is left having to rely on who he thinks would work hard for him. And I can't fault him for that, basically. But I don't think he wants to play with only 13 players. I think if he had his way, he would have a similar situation like he had with Malaysia and Luke Shaw
Sorry, Sean.
and Wan-Bissaka and Dalot.
Sean,
That's how I see it.
I'm really sorry. I'm genuinely sorry. We asked Ajax fans last season on Twitter, on a different social media. We asked Ajax fans. Friends of mine who got other channels had Ajax fans on their channel talking to them. Friends of mine went to watch Ajax, one of the last 2 games at Ajax in Amsterdam, and they asked him. They said he doesn't like making too many substitutions. He don't like changing the team. I'm sorry. The area diff is that you can get away with it because you got the best team, you got the best players. It's one of the biggest clubs in that league, right? Historically, the biggest name in that league. At Manchester United in the Premier League, competing all the different trophies. And I was calling it out in January. I sat here. I've only got 2 coaching badges. 2. I'm a guy who lives South Central Manchester, and I could see it. How come I can fucking see it and he can't see it? That's the reason why he's got to go. That's the reason why he catfished me. That's why he's got to go. If Eric Ten Hag showed me any bits, any little bits, I would be like, you know what, something to get behind. He doesn't. He hasn't. And I called it out last year, January. So I'm not Johnny Come Lately. I was calling it out in January, saying to all of you guys, I don't believe this four
Yeah, but are
competition
you saying there's
in it.
there's no chance for
I was
redemption?
calling him out. I'm sorry. I was calling
Are
him
you
out.
saying there's no room for Ten
Sean,
Hag to learn from his mistakes?
No, he's not learning. He showed me he's not learning. He showed me he's not learning. Instead, he came out after a game in a press conference and said, I believe it's not what you do in training. It's the game. It's inside the game. That's why the patterns. I was calling him out last season when he played a full strength team against Reading, against Charlton in the League Cup, against Reading in the FA Cup. We had all of the cup ties at Old Trafford. It was an incredible season. We had the most cup ties. We went to 2 finals in the cups, and we had all the ties at Old Trafford. And he's playing them against mediocre team. And he did it at Wigan, picked a full strength team. Yeah, picked the game against Newbury in League 2. I'm sorry, he's not fucking learned. That's why he's got to go. I'll go to Jarvis. Jarvis, talk to me, and then I'll go to Malcolm, then Eski, then Lesso. Go ahead.
Well, when it comes to today's game, I just want to talk a little bit about Anthony and his defensive performance. I know you don't rate wingers doing the defensively job because that's the default. They should do it, but I think that was really good. He ran back and he was really good. I just want to show you guys something. The heat map from today's game. You know, I always like this quirky things like heat maps. Share my screen, and here we go. Nurdin, if you can bring this up. So if you see here, this is Man United on the right, and for once we have a heat map that's basically covering all of the pitch. So it tells me that we spread out the ball, and he played through every zone of the game. The only place we are lacking is the attacking zone, and this is where Rashford is occupying the space. So here you see we have a couple of dark blue gaps. So it tells me that that Rashford wasn't really active, and he wasn't a vocal point up front, so he wasn't an option for us to play through. I just want to show you, this is just Amrabat on one side, and this is Dalot on the other side. So you see, actually, this time we had fullbacks who contributed almost all over the pitch. So they are similar to a midfielder. If you see, for example, Casemiro here, a little dark blue spots around the mid of the area. So they helped each other playing better. So I'm actually very positive of today's game. So I hope you guys don't kill me afterwards in the comments. But have you seen a heat map like this with United this season? Never.
But Jarvis, listen. Nottingham Forest are a very poor team. And
they are.
Manchester, yeah, they are a very poor team. And the quality in the game was absolute dog shit. So for me, this heat map, you can have all the ball everywhere, but if you're not doing fuck all with it, if you're not being direct, the first half we made a couple of chances. But in the second half,
but one step at a time now. One thing at a time.
It was the ball. I swear to God, I was watching the game. I was like, they lacked all sorts of quality. It was so frustrating. We passed the ball 1, 2, 3. The next pass, the ball's out on net. The ball's going out of play. How many times did the ball go out?
But Nordin, you said earlier that you criticizing Ten Hag for not letting the lesser players try to do his thing, and now you're saying the players are doing wrong, but they're doing what Ten Hag wants now. Actually, so you can't criticize him because of the quality of the players.
But I'm sorry, Jarvis. What I see is this. I see one poor game, and I put it. We were slightly better today in a very poor game. If the game had quality, I'll be here with you. I honestly praising it and saying, "Wow, what a performance! What a complete performance! How did we play?" Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah. But the performance wasn't actually good. But how we did it was good.
No,
how we acted as a team.
Yeah, in terms of positionally,
what we tried to do.
What we did. But I'm sorry to say that Anthony was dog shy up the pitch. Yes, he didn't have this speculative thing, but I'm not gonna give you a grade and go, "Oh, that's a B+ because you didn't try to bend it a couple of times." And to me, it's about the quality. He's one-on-one with a guy, one-on-one with a defender. Can't get fucking past him. I'm sorry, 85 million for what? You can't beat the defender one-on-one.
But the thing is, I'm seeing the positive with him getting 1-on-1 because we isolate the winger with the fullback and cross to him.
But that's how I see. That's the positive I see. You're not recognizing Jarvis. You're not recognizing in the back. So you know we're toothless for the moment. Today, Nottingham Forest, other than when they sat back, they actually played man for man because they were counting on the counter. We played better in the system. In the first half, they were catching us on the counter because they were overloading more players into midfield and then to be able to play on the transition and get at us. Even though I thought he got it wrong. I genuinely thought he got it wrong. He played Origi out wide. He should have played Origi down the middle, and he should have played the kid that we had at Manchester United. I forgot his name. The kid that we had.
Anthony Elanga.
Yeah, Anthony Elanga. He should have been. And you see, straight away, we swapped it, didn't we? We switched it. Elanga went, the lot went across to the other side because he knows for pace he can beat Amrabat. And then Amrabat played better in the second half. But for me, it was also the way they played. They left us because they know what we're toothless. They left us man for man. They left us, man. That's why Scott McTominay was getting loads of chance and space in the box, because they were like, Manchester United, you're not going to do fuck all. We know your shit. That's what they did. But for me, keeping the ball, for what? That's what I always said. Keeping the ball for keeping its sake. It's bullshit. You have to penetrate. You have to do something.
But Nuruddin, you can't have it every way now. You can't have it every which way.
Listen, Sean, I'm sorry. I'm not asking.
You want to have it all the ways.
I am not asking for much. I'm not fucking asking. I see Everton in relegation zone. Fucking white guys getting out there fullback, putting the ball in. Today, Anthony and Garnacho, ineffective. And for me, when you chase back, that's the fucking minimum. You fucking bought for 85 million. You're wearing a Manchester United shirt. Working back, it's the fucking... I'm not praising you for that. I'm not. I'm praising you.
I know.
What you do at the other end of the pitch with the quality you're supposed to have. To me, Anthony looks like a League 2 footballer. League fucking 2. Newbury. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And I'm not defending it. If I see what you said and I see that against Man City, I promise you, Jarvis, I'll be on here saying, wow, fucking wow. If I see it against Liverpool in the cup, if I see it for the rest of the season, I'll be like, fucking hell. Even if we lose, Jarvis, you know me, I'm not afraid of losing games. What I'm afraid of is the shittest fucking performance. And tonight, even Alan Shearer couldn't hold his. I don't know if you watched that with the English.
No, I didn't.
Well, he couldn't hide the frustrations. It was like paint dry. I swear to God. I don't know what people were watching, but I was fucking bored.
No, but Jarvis, what Jarvis is saying is that but Nuruddin, what Jarvis was saying that like there was an incremental.
I need to bring the rest of the people. I'll come back to you. Make a note of that. Eski, am I wrong to demand Manchester United wingers go have a go at their fullbacks, get the ball in, have some action, have some shots, test the keeper? Am I? Everything we did to the keeper was like a B-roll. But
that was not Jarvis' argument now. That was not the argument.
No, but to me, it's the quality. I expect quality. To me, having the ball, having in terms of where you are, all of that, what is that supposed to do? It's supposed to get your best players, your attacking players, to be able to have the quality to do something. And they did fuck all. And that guy, Bruno, is a fucking fraud. I don't give a fuck. He's got the ball there. He's trying. 1 in 99 fucking million chance where he can bend it. You're not fucking that technically good. Diego Dalot is out there wide. We got 4 people in the box. Give the ball out wide instead of speculative shit. Sorry, I'm not praising that shit. I'm not.
Sean?
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. You're not wrong to want that, but for me, it comes a question of manager versus quality of players, innit? I don't know. This is what I'm saying, Nuruddin. Last season, we played okay football until a point, and then it stopped. And then we all thought it would come back round. And it's not
January.
Right, till January, and then it stopped. We all thought, okay, well, it come back round. It's not really come back round. Pre-season looked okay, but that is what it is. And then we lost some players. Now, I don't know what they train like. I don't personally know. You're saying they don't really do all of this match fucking preparation and they do drills like that and they just do it on the day. If that's the case, then it is worrying that Ten Hag is doing that. But the most worrying thing is he doesn't change it. If that is the case, right? But I don't know how much. It's a percentage game, innit? Is some of the blame's on the players and some of it's on the manager. Now we're playing percentages. If you think it's more on the manager and he's more in the wrong by 60%, then you're going to want him out. You muted.
He hasn't shown me enough for me to give him another season. He hasn't. He's done everything the opposite.
Yeah, but
hold on. The biggest thing about it is that on my mother's grave, I would be like, I'll be clapping him, and I'll be the biggest Ten Hag in guy in here. If he dropped some of these players and put the youngsters in, because they would listen to what he's telling them.
I said that last
season. Walking around the football pitch, disrespecting him week in and week out. Get him off the fucking football pitch.
Nuruddin, have you ever managed people before, Nuruddin?
Off the football pitch.
Nuruddin, have you ever managed people before, Nuruddin? Have you ever managed
yes, I have.
And And
I
do you
did it, you know
think
how long?
just
You know how long I did it? You know how long I did it for?
do you
For a
think
fucking
this-
decade. Decade. Come on, bring your questions. Come on, bring it. Bring them.
No,
Bring your
all I was
questions.
going to say was, look, Nurin, I agree with you. Last season, yeah, I was saying to him, play the youth. We had Zidane there, we had Thingy, all these guys there. And I was upset that he wasn't playing the youth, especially in these games. We drew loads of these games at home, Nurin, and I went to all of them. All these games we drew at home in these cup games, I went to all of them. And I was shocked, like, why are we seeing all these guys? I 100% agree with you. But at the same time, I don't know, like, this season, who we could bring on. I don't know who we could bring on the bench.
Nah,
when
okay,
Ericsson
give
come
them.
on,
Give
no,
them.
no, no, look, I'm
You know,
full. I'm
on
full
the
on.
18th, you know, on the 18th team, on the 19th team,
Yeah,
are
they're
doing
good.
amazing. They're
I've
fucking
seen it.
amazing.
I've seen it.
Club's doing it. Why can't we fucking do it?
Now, but hold on. Look at the bigger picture, though. If they're doing
No
amazing
big
now,
shot.
no,
Listen, Edsky, no bigger picture. Club
No,
is
you have
fucking
to.
doing it. And you know what? They're taking their chances. They're
no, but how
fucking
long?
doing it.
How long's
Do
Klopp
it.
been in the job? No, but
Fucking bin the
clock it.
fucking pricks.
No,
Bin
no.
Rashford. Bin Bruno.
I agree with
Bin
you.
the fucking Anthony. Bin fucking anybody else who's not doing what you're doing. Bring the
Well,
Yankees on that pitch.
he's already
And I
been
promise you,
Anthony
especially
now.
at Old Trafford, the whole stadium,
I
the
agree.
whole stadium would be fucking jumping up and down because
yeah,
we want to see that because they will give everything.
But he's
They
already
will
been
give
Anthony.
everything.
No,
And he's not
he
doing
has
it.
already been Anthony. He dropped Rashford already previously this season. So like it's
No, he
not
hasn't. No, he
like
hasn't. He plays every game now. No, I'm sorry. Rashford, for the performance he's putting on, he should be nowhere near the fucking pitch. He should be sitting in the stands.
No, but listen, yeah. No, all I'm saying is, yeah, Klopp's been here however long, almost a decade, and this is the team that he's put out all these kids. Now, when I was growing up, Nuruddin, where were Liverpool's youngsters? Never heard of them. Do you know why? It's hard to come through in an environment where it's shit. Man United had so many youngsters. Okay, not a lot of them went anywhere. A lot of them are still professional footballers, yeah, but they never come through and made it here. But it was a lot easier to bring these guys into the first team. When Fergie come in, he overhauled everything from the backroom staff all the way down to the youth teams. So the youth teams played a certain way. Jurgen Klopp, like my guy said in the comments before about half an hour ago, forgot his name, yeah, but big up. He just said now it's all the way down from our youth team to the senior team. That doesn't happen overnight. Ten Hag's not even been here 2 years. So and the reports last year that he come in and overhauled that team. Now we're doing okay. If Ten Hag starts plucking that team now and stunting their development and their growth and putting them into their first team, that could harm them. So I think it's the right thing in hindsight. I can't say he's not been there long enough, but in a couple of years' time, we might be saying we've got some great kids in the world. But you know why it would be down to? It'd be down to Ten Hag changing our system. Because if we're good now, I think it's because of him, and I think he's right to not start plucking these players out. I think maybe some of them we shouldn't send out on loan, like Bruno Fernandez and all these, man. We should have kept them. But some of these guys in the team, let them develop, because you know, Nuruddin, what's the critical time to develop as a footballer? It's like 16 to 18. Then really, if you're good enough, you should start breaking into that first team. So if our youth team's doing good now, wait on it a year or two, and then we can start bringing them in. I think it's a long-term thing, man. You can't expect them. Klopp's kids have been around yesterday. Klopp's kids happened on the weekend.
I'm not having pricks walking around the football pitch. I'm sorry.
Neither am I.
I mean, look at what happened to Forsen. Look at what happened to Omari Forsen in the last game. It's not easy,
listen,
right?
That was not his fault. I'm sorry. Listen.
But that's what you have to protect.
Sorry, Sean.
That's what you have to protect young players from.
Sean, I'm sorry. Reports come out locally in Manchester Evening News and anywhere else that he's been played. He was played so that Manchester United don't lose him. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So he's been played so he doesn't sign for somebody else. Get the fuck out of here, man.
It's an Angel Gomez thing. It's an Angel Gomez thing.
That's not the point I'm making, Nuruddin.
No,
that's not the point I'm making.
The point I'm making is that if you're good enough, if you're performing, and there are 3 or 4 young players under the 19th, 18th team who are performing at a good level, really, they're unbeaten as a team this season. Some of them need to be on that fucking base. Some of them need to come on
I don't see how we can look at. I don't see how we can look at how Ten Hag treated Ronaldo, how he treated Maguire, how he treated De Gea, and conclude that he's afraid to ruffle feathers, right? That doesn't track to me.
Bruno, I'm sorry, Sean. God. Bruno can put in horrendous 3 months consistent wank fest, absolute shite, and then he still plays.
No, but today's game was a perfect example today's game is a
Sorry,
perfect
man.
example of how complicated the Bruno Fernandez issue is, right? Because on the eye test, he was trash. But if you're a data analyst
That's the only thing that
looking
matters.
at the numbers,
You can
right?
do everything you want with stats. He was shit. He wasted every
I don't
chance.
think
He was shooting from impossible angles.
I don't think the
Jarvis,
only
how many
thing, quote
times this
unquote, that
season has he
matters.
shot from impossible angles? That is not. They're almost like roll back to the goalkeeper. How many times on the passes done is he shooting?
We're not going to turn Bruno. We're not going to turn Bruno into somebody that he's not. We're not going to turn Bruno into somebody that he's not.
Look at this,
right?
Bruno. Look. Oh, I will turn off the sound. Look from the beginning. What is he trying to do? This is Bruno. It's for me, it's baffling to look at. He's so obsessed at trying to find the through ball, the difficult through balls, that he wastes possession all the time. Look, we have all the team high up here, and he just wastes it. He squanders the ball. This is Bruno.
Yeah, and I think everybody on this panel would agree that Bruno should be dropped because he's out of form. But the idea that like Ten Hag is afraid to drop him or something, I don't know if that tracks, or if I agree with that makes any sense. Also, why I was asking you if he has ever managed people, it's because
Yes,
I think as adults that we all are here, having worked in different environments, we can understand that sometimes politics makes its way into the workplace. It's unavoidable. There's politics of an office, politics of any workplace, politics of any kind of gathering of individuals. More than two people involved, there's going to be politics there. To me, it is not strange that certain players get certain privileges, certain accommodations that others don't get. That is life. That is just real life. The idea that Ten Hag should be a disciplinarian robot and simply say, I'm only going to act based on principle.
He professed to be that. I'm sorry, Sean, but he professed to be that. He said he was
yes,
that.
and he has held it up.
The perception he's giving us. He said that's what he is. He's the team.
But he has done it. He has done it to an extent.
Backtracking. He started backtracking.
But he has done it to an extent.
Last season, when they were not listening to him, giving the ball away, he was coming out in the press and saying, "This is not good enough. This is not good enough. They have to do better." Even the games we were winning, he was coming out. This season, quiet as a fucking mouse. And I'm sorry, Sean,
because he has learned because he's learning that he's managing a bunch of snowflakes. Like you want the manager to sabotage himself to make us happy.
Sean, I'm really sorry. I was a manager, right? I was a manager of a team, right? Of a team. I just got to remove this drivers. 1 second, we'll go back to that. Because if that was Casemiro holding somebody's neck like that, they're a fucking off, right? It's a red card. We know that it's a red card, innit? We see how VAR, the agenda for VAR against Manchester United is clear now for everybody to see. They're not even trying to hide it. They're not even trying to fucking hide it. It's there for everybody to see.
Yeah,
but let me say something else. I was a manager. There was 3 managers who managed loads of different stuff, yeah? 3 of us. And I'm telling you now, because of my personal skills with human beings, I am not going to lie to you. If anybody, when I was managing, when the job that we had to do wasn't coming with satisfaction, wasn't doing the job properly, I would go out of my way, make sure I spoke to the director. I would bring those people in for extra training. I would talk to them. I would break it down for them, what the expectations.
So in other words, you would manage them, which is what Ten Hag is doing.
No, he's not. No, he's not. You know what I did? You know what I would do when I didn't get it? I would then do a review and say, this is what we agreed to for the next couple of months. This is what you're going to do. Today, that's what you did. This is how you repeat. And every time I'm working with them, I'll encourage them again. I would always encourage them. But when they were not up to it, because the job that we did impacted on health and safety, where I could be prosecuted for if something seriously went wrong and the people didn't do their job, I would be put that I could have been sent down. Do you understand? By law, I could go down for manslaughter. I could go down for somebody get hurt. So what I would do with them is show them. And by then, I would look at them in the face and say, this job is not for you. For the next couple of months, the shifts, you know the reason why you're taking off the shifts. You are not taking off the shifts because it's
have you ever,
you know what I would do? You know what I would do? You know what I would do? I go through and say, this is what we catalogued. These are the reasons why.
Yeah, but
are not
everything,
performing
nothing
at
you're
the level
saying sounds
what I
different
want
from
you
what
to.
Ten Hag is doing in the football context,
Nah,
right?
mate. Nah,
Ten
Sean.
Hag has
Sean,
dropped
I'm
Ten
sorry.
Hag has dropped
Nah.
Rashford for a couple of games. He has dropped
Nah.
Anthony. He kicked Ronaldo out of the squad.
One or
He
two
removed the
games.
captaincy. He removed the captaincy from
One or
Maguire.
two games.
He got rid of probably the most influential player in the squad, De Gea, who has been here since Fergie's time. I mean, like he's trying to manage the squad within the limits of human behavior, right? So this idea that you should treat the players like robots,
Nah,
where if you don't produce the output we want for you exactly, go to the bench or something like that. You have to manage all these things. If you've ever had to cover up for a subordinate in front of your own senior, right? So sometimes you manage somebody and your subordinate fucks up, but you don't want to throw them under the bus. You might cover for them in the eyes of their superior. That
Listen,
happens
I never
sometimes
threw
in
anybody
the
under the
real
bus.
world. Yeah, exactly.
I will never do it. I will always have their backs, and I would always tell them, "I'm going out of my way to support you." The least you could do is give me this. The least you could do, and that's one of the biggest reasons why. To me,
so what if you have an employee? What if you have an
played,
employee that had a very good previous year? His previous year was fantastic, but this year he's not doing so great,
and then
and
you
you
know
try
what I
to talk
do?
to him.
You know what I do, Sean? We will do an investigation why you're not doing good, and every way that I can help him, I would help them. Every way that I can help that person, I would help them. But at the end of the day, if they don't perform, it's on them. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
And Ten Hag, what is rewarding?
Hag is trying to
what
do.
Bruno?
I
I'm
think Ten
sorry.
Hag sees Rashford
Let
and
me
Bruno.
finish. Bruno, what Bruno did tonight, he's been doing every game for the past 4 months. Yes or no, Jarvis? Please. Have you seen Bruno doing
it
every
looks
game
like
in the
that.
past 4 months?
Yeah. But to be fair to Bruno, he has improved his pass ratings, pass percentage in the last 4 to 5 games. It's in the 85 to 80 percentile. It's not 62 percentile.
Jarvis, are you of the belief too that Jarvis? Are you of the belief too that?
Let me just get the super chats. Get the super chats. Big up.
I want to ask Jarvis a question, and the panel too also.
I'm just gonna call you G.
And
Rudy G. Big up and Rudy G. Claimed that Anthony is fasting in the press meeting, in the press conference. He said the first 10 minutes. To be fair, he said he's fasting the first 10 minutes.
First 10 yards, yeah.
Yeah, he said the first 10 yards. He's fasting the first 10. Big up Adewale. Adewale said Bruno is not out of form, Sean. He is clear. Don't get how football is played. If you say Bruno had a good game because of those stats, Bruno
I did not say he had a good game.
Than he helped.
Adewale,
Why would we win anything with him? To be fair, he didn't say he had a good game. He didn't say that. He said the stats. You can take the stats. The stats can say that.
You know what I've also said in the past, Nuruddin? I've also said it on this channel that I don't think Bruno and Rashford can get us to winning trophies.
No.
They are good enough to get us third and fourth.
Listen,
so all the things that people are saying,
they can't
right?
even play good. In a team that's chasing
what I wanted to ask the panel, starting with Jarvis, is whether or not you agree with Nuruddin's. Oh, okay.
Let me just get this super chat. Eric Ten Hag is a horrible man manager. He does not even tell players they're not part of his plans. He lies to them like Oli, Elanga, Ronaldo, others alluded to. Eric Ten Hag lies and disrespects towards players. Eric Ten Hag uses players, then dumps them. Well, Elanga, to me, Ronaldo will say whatever he wants, but Elanga, I have no reason for Elanga to start lying. Go ahead, Sean. Ask your question. Big up to Adewale for the super chat. Always appreciate it. Big up to you. Please smash a like. There's over 200 of you on this channel. How many likes have we got on the video? If we don't have at least 150 likes, it's shame.
108.
We need to get at least 150 likes. Go ahead, Sean.
I was going to ask the panel, starting with Jarvis, right? Do you guys agree with Nuruddin's take that the only thing that matters is eye test? How would you, as somebody analyzing football, reconcile the fact that, despite the fact that Bruno looks terrible on the eye, his contributions to the game, according to the data, are on a high level? How do you guys account for that, or how do you reckon with that contradiction?
High level.
Yeah, but
listen. Let's not spoken. Let's answer that, Jarvis. Go ahead, Letso.
With terms of Bruno, man, I mean,
eye test only versus data. How do you reconcile when there's a difference between the eye test and data?
No, I think you have to consider both, but then you can't really rely on stats alone. I remember where I used to, around in 2020, I used to do like a data analysis for like a football club in my country, in the Premier League. Like we had this project that we had to do like a data analysis on football players and whatnot. But what they would actually require the most, I think it would be them actually watching the player, because when you watch a player, you'll see that there's a lot that uh, would be misleading in terms of when you compare it to the data analysis. Your data can say things that are meaningful, like it produce information that is not really, that may add access to what is not necessary, if you get what I'm saying.
So you
But
disagree with
when
me,
you
Odin?
actually see when you see a player on the field, like for example, if I could put or run to a player and then I pass like I do like a 2 meter pass, like I make about 2 meter passes to a player standing next to me. They'll say passes completed. They're not gonna tell you how much, how much distance, or or was it a split passing sort of situation. It'll tell you that you completed your passes. Do you get what I'm saying? It does not entail details.
No,
Whereas
yeah,
that's why
I
they
get what you're
always
saying.
yeah,
And
whereas
that's the
they
correct
still,
answer, right? The correct answer is that it's
yeah,
both.
yeah,
Not eye
yeah.
test only.
So
Uh,
yeah. So it's a combination of both. So that's why you still send people to go and actually watch games till this day. That's never gonna change, because they have to see what you're actually doing. You can get a stat that tells you that you're doing this, but now these people want to add on to that detail. So I would say the eye test is more detailed than your data, because what you're seeing you can never unsee. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you have data and you have numbers can account for anything. Even for things that don't really matter and that are not relevant to what is really, in terms of the main goal and whatever that you looking into a player.
Let's
So
so
that's basically
let's
what.
so the stats
Yes.
don't tell you. The stats don't tell you in the
Yeah,
last third
they don't
the
tell you everything.
difficulty of the pass, the angle of the defender. It don't tell you the real meaning thing.
They
What
don't
you
tell
see
you
with the
everything.
eye test when somebody
Mm,
pulls off a
Yeah.
brilliant pass where that goes
mm,
through, brings
mm.
takes 3 or 4 players out of the game, or if the pass is just straight through when there's nobody there to block it. Like, there is all these different things stats don't tell you. I'm sorry. I'm not this XG generation. I think it disturbs football. I really think that. I think that those stats are more for American sports because of the way that American sports are, the culture in American sports, the type of like actual games. Stats are very much needed and very much like so many rebounds, so much, the shots, so many like dribbles, all these different things are more focused.
It's a money
To
ball.
apply
Money ball.
those, yeah, to apply those stats to football in a game, in game, in game, and in a game is difficult. I think genuinely,
I'm
unless like
curious to hear. I'm curious to hear what everybody else like. What's because I
listen,
mean,
listen.
it's
In terms of in terms of, you can tell, 100%. Especially, so I used to play midfield, The majority of the game where I watch the game, where my eyes literally light up more, is midfield when the ball is in midfield. It's who's dominating the game in midfield. That because I played in midfield, that was my position. That was the thing that I used to think about. How am I gonna play? What my first touch? Am I gonna have more time on the ball? The decision making that you make, my position as a midfielder. So that is where so I can tell if a midfielder is keeping the ball rolling. Are you ticking the ball over? Are you playmaking?
so how many games do you
Are
need to tell using the eye
you in the
test?
right position? Are you in the right positions on the eye test? You can see clearly. Are you the jewels? What are you winning on the jewels? Right, the jewels. You don't even need to count. You can
How many
tell.
matches? How many matches do you need to watch to be able to rely on the eye test? Can you tell from one game,
For
10
me,
games, 20
no, it's the
games?
lived experience. It's the lived experience. I've watched
Okay.
football since I was 8 years old. And I understood football since I was 8, 9 years old. And I watch it and I played it. And I understand what it's like to be in the game. Not at a high level. No fucking way. I'm nowhere saying that. But I'm saying to be in positions. I understand what you to be expected of you in the game. How you're thinking, how you scan. When I see Scott McTominay, I know he's a crap player. I don't need stats to tell me that shit. I know Maguire is horrendous. He doesn't fucking even scan. And Maguire, if you get the ball, quick movement around his feet, you know you're gonna bamboozle him because he hasn't got the agility to be able to change directions. That's why he gets turned inside out quickly.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have that. He's too much on his
No,
heels. Right? So
one man's horrendous player is another man's
no,
superhero.
no,
That's where the stats come in and the value of a player, right? One man's horrendous player is another man's hero. Basically, so the stats that you look at for any player, they might tell you, like, I don't think I'm not going to go with one or the other, right? I agree with Leso. You can't rely on stats only, but at the same time, you can't rely on the eye test only. Like your
no, you
eyes can
can't.
literally.
Eye test. I'm sorry. I will always rely on an eye test. Always. Because the eyes, when you play football and you watch football for so long, you can tell. To me, that's why I always say to you, honestly.
Is it not eye test that we used to buy Onana? Where did that eye test? Is it not eye test we used to sign Amrabat? Is eye test we used for Amrabat now? Where has the eye test gotten us?
I'm sorry. Listen, the stats. It was the stats in that game. And
Amrabat, that one tackle against Mbappe. That's what we used to sign Amrabat to.
No. Listen
and now he's looking like
listen to me. No. Listen, the thing that what people don't take into consideration, that's why I am always suspicious of getting, like, for example, if you said to me, who would you have, Barella or Amrabat? Clearly, Jarvis.
Yeah, Barella.
Barella, because Barella plays his levels. And because he's allowed to ask questions in the Champions League in performance. Now, for me, the thing about Onana, nobody rates Onana in world football. Nobody. He had good 6 months with Inter Milan. They went to a Champions League final. United fans watched him for one game. That's it. Look at his stats. Look at how much he passes. Look at what he does for Inter. No. The game is slower. The game's more tactical in Italy. So you have more time on the ball. In the Premier League, you get no time on the ball. 0 time. So the point what I'm trying to make is that it's 2 levels to me. I test because, you know what? I swear, I encourage every one of you, even if it's Sunday League, Saturday League, go and watch live football. Because that's why when I go to games in the stadium, what you see on television is through the camera, right? It's the camera. The camera takes everything, right? It's where the directors are, people who are directing the game. They have directors who are literally on buttons, different angles, different cameras. When you watch the game, you see players. You see what are they doing off the ball when the ball is not even on their side. When the ball is on the other side, what they do. You can tell things by the player. But go ahead, Jarvis. Let me just get this super chat. Big up, Mick.
Yeah.
Here is my love and respect. Big up to Mix. Make sure you check out Man UFC Realist TV. Go and subscribe to the channel, people. Big up all the way in lovely Thailand with his cats. Jealous. Melanin, you know what I mean? Top up there. Topping up his tan. Looks like he's one of the locals. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Go ahead, Jarvis.
We have one other super chat from Adevale, I think. Before you go.
Sure, the problem with your logic, stats are more for the player than things that stats don't cover is actually that what wins games, the championships. Playing like Bruno and Rashford gets them numbers, but not the team says a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Fact.
Good comment,
and to me, even in American sports, they go, you become a stat merchant. No, I want the team. Do you remember when, I'm not going to lie to you, some of you might be shocked by this, right? I actually preferred Louis Saha and Wayne Rooney than preferring Van Nistelrooy to play up front by himself.
More effective.
Like, what?
It's more
Manchester
effective.
Manchester United as a fucking team function better with Rooney in the number 10, Louis Saha bouncing off to the team where we played more and attacked as more cohesive and we open teams up more than just playing through to one striker all of the time and playing through one guy. I always preferred playing through the team. Always. Than playing through one individual. And Erik ten Hag, for me, is showing that he prefers to play through 3-4 players. I don't want that. I want a system that plays through the whole, hides the deficiencies of the team, infatuates and lifts up the collective performance. That's what I want. Go ahead, Jarvis.
Yeah, I just want to say when it comes to this with stats, we got to remember that now with Opta, the website, everybody with no education, with no knowledge at all, can go in and just pick stats how they like. So they're just cherry picking. So that's the biggest problem, and you see them fighting their battles on Twitter and YouTube. So this is a big problem with stats, because you got to know what you actually are reading before you can analyze the stats. When it comes to Man United, we have a video analytic team. If you just move up my picture here, Nuruddin, I will just show you quick. This is Man United's video analytic team against Barcelona on Nou Camp. And you see there's a lot of people sitting there and actually analyzing the game. So Ten Hag knows exactly what's going on the pitch, or at least he should understand, because all the data is there. So it's up to Ten Hag to analyze it and understand. So this is today's football. It's just the future of the football. And you can just remove it, Nuruddin, again, because it's too much commercial and stuff. But for me, I like stats, but you got to remember it's just stats. It's not the same as the eye test. And for me, the eye test is the most important every time. Oh, you're on mute.
Depending on it, if your life depended on it, which would you choose, Jarvis?
Yeah, the eye test, 100%. But that's because I have the experience. I have been playing football all my life. I've been seeing so many games, and I played the game myself. Not at a high level as the Premier League, of course, but you know how the rhythm is. You understand small things. You need to play the game to understand a lot of things when it comes to football. But when it comes to stats, it's very important. You see teams today. Remember Liverpool, they stole a database from Manchester City, or was it the other way around? So they had a database of players, and the same now we have teams like, for example, Brentford. They use 100% the Moneyball principle. And they just sign players on the cheap and get them to work because they have special abilities that they can exploit. So this is.
But they also look at, listen, I tell you what stats are good for. Stats are good for the types of injuries the player gets, because you can really dig down into the scientifics, the type of body, the way they twist and turn, the types of progressive pass that leads to maybe a chance being created on goal. You can look at all that. They looked at Mo Salah's stats like that. So yeah, I can see that. The types of injuries that players prone to, you can get a lot by the data by that. But I'm sorry, the eye test on the football pitch is the key most important thing. And I swear to you, I like Van
the correct answer. The correct answer is both. That's the correct answer. It's both, right? Like your eyes can lie to you, but numbers never lie. And at the same time, numbers could.
The eyes never lie either.
Your eyes can lie to you, definitely, because that's why I asked you how many matches would you need to watch before you can make it, before you can make a determination. That is that gap, the gap in human ability to see everything and capture everything. That's where data comes in. So you can't pick one and say, I'm only relying on this one, or I'm only relying on this one. They go hand in hand. I saw a comment there. The stats would validate your intuition from your eye test. Sometimes, most times, you can say even most times, they will validate your intuition from the eye test. But oftentimes, the stats can tell you a different story. Eye test can tell you one thing based on one game. But when you see the numbers, they can be like, oh, actually, maybe this guy had an exceptional game today, or maybe he played differently today. But over an average, over a period of time, the stats don't lie. Like they just don't. So when you see, when you hear that Kevin De Bruyne calls Bruno Fernandez a creative machine, right? That's stats, that's numbers, and they don't lie. And the footballers, they know this. They know when they look at each other, they know what they're looking out for from footballers. I think the issue with Bruno, personally, since that's where we started with all the stats conversation, all I'm trying to introduce is complexity to the way we think about things, right? Instead of simple one answer solution or one this thing, complexity is important because that helps you understand where Ten Hag is coming from, or why these issues are so difficult to really address. Because on one hand, you have a player, but your eye test also tells you he's not in the best form right now. What's the solution? My solution would be get somebody else to keep him honest, not to get rid of him entirely. That's what I'm saying. Bring in somebody like Mason Mount, bring in Ahmad for Bruno instead. Don't treat Bruno like an indispensable player. Bench him every now and then. That's my solution. Not get rid of arguably the most creative, one of the most creative players in the world that happens to be in our team. But yeah,
big up, Sean. Listen, 100%, 2, 3, 4 different things can be true at the same time. For me, when I see a player that's detrimental to the team, and that's why I 100% agree with Adewale. Now, where I disagreed with Adewale last season was that yes, he was contributing to enough in terms of the games, and he was actually, yes, he was wasteful at times, but it was far more than what he was giving to the team. Now, because the goals have dried up, the assists have dried up, he is detrimental. Like the clip that she just showed before, the clip that we saw, that Jarvis just showed before. He's doing a lot of things like that. And that to me is unacceptable when you're the captain. You should not be, because you should be calling people out. But big up to Adewale, says, once Rude left swoop, so we won every trophy, 100%, because we play more like a team. And no word of a lie. You know, at Manchester United, I used to be like, what? I'm that level of analysis. Without any stats, I'd be like, shit, only the strikers are scoring. I don't like when it's only the strikers score. I want the wingers to score. I want midfielders to score. I want our centre halves to chop in. I want the goals to be shared out. You know what? You got a team when the goals are shared out, where people are scared of your centre halves. People are scared about your midfielders making a run into the box. People are scared of your wingers. People are scared of your strikers. This is or even your fullbacks. That's to me, this is what I remember. I'm not lying to you. Gary Neville. Remember when Gary Neville perfected that cross? Jarvis, you remember? Yeah. The ball out wide. He only needed a little bit of space, and he used to put it right into the D, right into the penalty yard for people to attack. Or near post or back post. He perfected it with Beckham through training. Beckham would just whip it back to him, and he used to whip it in straight away. Players, Manchester United, when I see us now,
even Solskjaer, if you remember, when he was played on the wing, he had beautiful crosses. He learned the same from Beckham.
Jarvis, the step overs. I'll never forget being at Old Trafford. He's out on the right wing, giving players step overs. I'm talking about doing like double step overs and skipping past people and crossing the ball. So there is. Eski remembers what I'm talking about. You remember, like somebody. What I just don't see now. I think he's become more detrimental, and I don't believe there's two schools of thought in football. Big players, you play them into form, or you drop them, take them out, bring them back, take them out, bring them back. I'm a believer. You take them out, bring them back, take them out.
No,
I don't believe you play players into form. I don't believe that. I don't.
I just listened to. No, fair enough. I listened to Ten Hag's interview just there in the press conference, and he goes that Bruno's got a serious injury, but he's still been playing with this injury. He had to take injections today to play. So
that was from last. The injury was only from last week. The injury was only from against Fulham. It wasn't. He's not been injured all season. I'm not accepting that. I'm not. He
said last year. No, but this is what I'm saying to you. I'm saying for Ten Hag, that's poor management. Like, if a player's got an injury, he shouldn't have to play through this one guy. So it is to your point. But in terms of his performances, that could be an explanation to why it's been shit. But it's the manager's fault that this has happened. He should take him out, because now we're getting shit performances. So that's what I have to say. But check the manager's press conference. He did say he's got an injury and he needed injections today. And he accused the Nottingham Forest players of targeting him. But that was just in the press conference then.
Yeah, big up Adewale. Bruno is not a creative machine. A chance created is Bruno passing to our left back or right back and them shooting from 30 yards when they actually do. We all know the stats that are not a real chance. Bruno is all the set pieces and all the corners as well. Majority of the corners, unless what's his name is playing.
I'm sorry, but a chance created is not passing to our left winger or right winger. You can disagree with the components of those stats, how they are calculated. You can also say, like Nuruddin has said, that they don't tell all the story. But that's not all that there is to it. Like, you can't just say that Bruno is just passing from left to right, and he's not doing anything, or he's not contributing to the squad.
No, for me, it's his wasteful shots is when he starts shooting from impossible fucking angles where we've got actually players in the box and he can play.
But my issue is why are we still talking about? As in, why is all that not priced in at this point in time? That is who Bruno Fernandez is. Like that is the player that he is.
I don't want that. I loved him for a year and a half. I thought it was the biggest thing that happened to Manchester United. There is a player who came in straight away, no settling in, bang, 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 bang. Just looked amazingly well, like was just carrying us. But I knew sooner or later we needed to up the rest of the team needed to up it and play as a team. And I'm always about building a team because football is an individual sport. It's not like fucking tennis. It's not like golf. It is a team sport. So we have to play football together, move up together, move back together. And it's so funny, Jarvis. We've been saying it since January last year.
Yeah.
And Jamie Carragher thinks he's discovered some incredible thing. We talk about it weekly and weekly, how lopsided we are, how not compact we are. And it shows that everybody's got their knickers in a twist. Oh, Carragher exposed Ten Hag. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
You've turned into any United fan channel. We talk about how lopsided we are, how we got 7 players committed, how we've got 2-3 players we're playing with at the back. And how we lose the ball, we got people sprinting for their lives. We've talked about it from January, and I kept saying that football is unsustainable.
It is. It is.
Last word of the show to you. Go ahead, bro, and then we'll go around. Not even 150 likes. Shameful. Shame on you guys.
Come on, people.
230 of you in here, and we haven't got 150 likes.
Come on, people.
Hit the like. You know, it helps out the algorithms. It's all we ask for. Hit the like.
They need to, no, they definitely need to hit the likes. I've been seeing also the growth in terms of the subscribers, which is very helpful as well. Big up to everyone who subscribed to the channel. Since we've been shadow banned and everything. But that I see the gradual growth in subscribers is actually a positive note on that. But yeah, with everything that we've discussed today, in terms of individual players, in terms of stats, in terms of everything, in total. I'll just obviously, to come to the conclusion, I'd absolutely say, the manager will be gone. I've said this, I still stay by this. The noises that are coming out of the club now are saying that the manager is going to leave. So, it's only a matter of time at this point. It's just survival football to the end of the season. And, the CEO that has come in, he comes from Barcelona. I don't think he sees this type of football as anything that he can, see that we can take into the next season or into the future. So I'm thinking that the manager will be gone along with the players. They didn't bring all these guys through just for them to keep a lot of these guys here. It doesn't make sense anyways. A lot of these guys that are there right now are there to actually instill a style of football. They're there to set the standards for the manager that comes in to play a certain way. So I don't see them putting all this investment and money and time into something that's just not going to, they're just going to be doing the same thing that the Glazers were doing before. So that's why I would be encouraged for them to actually do in this current point to sack the manager. If it meant that there was no structure, I wouldn't want the manager to go, because nothing was going to change. But if they actually they have someone in mind that they want to bring into the team that is going to play a certain way and is going to do things a certain way that they require. You look at Ten Hag, he hasn't done himself favors. I wanted him to last long. I've always said that one of the reasons why he would fail is because of his utilization of the squad. He did even come back and reiterate that he likes working with 13 to 14 players, which you can't do in the Premier League. You still haven't learned. We're moving into 2 seasons now. We're almost done with this season, actually. So that's 2 seasons, and you still cannot recognize that thing. Pep came in. He learned that within the first 18 months that you have to utilize the squad. He learned that. He had a similar problem. People forget this. At Barcelona, he played that team till their bare bones. Same thing at Bayern Munich. He repeated the same process. Came to the Premier League and he learned very harshly that you have to rotate. It doesn't matter that whether you don't have a player that you like or you don't like. First season, he didn't have everyone that he liked. He ended up using some of the youngsters from the development. that's what you do. You don't just play players out of position because you don't want to put some certain players. Some players will make it. Some will surprise you. I mean, Louis van Gaal did it against Arsenal. We actually beat Arsenal with youngsters on the pitch. So those sort of things, you do have to take chances sometimes. Some players may just be good enough. They just need to be given the chance. So I think the writing's on the wall with this. Next season, we will probably get a new manager. We'll probably bring in a new set of players because this guy's sacking everyone. I've never seen someone move the way he's moving at this moment in time. He's basically sacking everyone. At this point, he may even sack the tea lady because he literally is moving everyone out of the club at the moment. Darren Fletcher doesn't look safe himself as well. John Murtock has been told that he'll get a new role. We don't know what that new role is. It's probably a role that he may, it may be a demotion. So, I mean, but yeah, I'm actually just at this point I've written off the season. I don't know. People are still holding on to the FA Cup and everything, but I think this football is just not. It's just not giving me that vibe that we're gonna go anywhere. We're not gonna achieve anything this season. The best you can do is just secure top 6 or top 5. Top 6, I think, is the best you can do personally this season. And then we move.
Well, Sean wrote off the season, to be fair. We should listen to him. But it's the hope that kills him. Big up, Lesso. Go ahead, Eski. Last word of the show from you, bro.
Fucking got through next round. Deal with the Scousers at home. Got City on the weekend. I mean, listen, man.
Any
if
hope?
you keep the score down, listen. Like I understand Sean's opinion when he said before about the derby. It doesn't matter anymore in the last 10 years. But not to sound we live in Manchester, but we live in Manchester. So when there's a derby, you bump into these people, these few little blues that are dotted around here and there. We have to bump into them and interact with them, this and that. So for us that live in Manchester, the derby's still a massive thing. I don't want to lose any derby, but I'm not stupid to go there and say we're going to win. But I think if we can go down there, get a 1-1, a 0-0, something happens, you never know. But I think if Ten Hag fucking works some magic out, and think people pull their fingers out, getting a draw away at the Etihad and maybe doing the Scousers in at home should be enough to save Ten Hag this season. Because I'll be honest, Nuruddin, I'm in your camp. I think he's going to go. I don't want him to go. I think he's going to be Barcelona's manager next season. They're going to get rid of Xavi Alonso. There's going to be a lot of managers changing this summer. Just keep your eyes out on that, guys. We could be losing manager. Klopp's getting off. If Arsenal don't win the league, are they going to bin off Arteta? Xabi Alonso's hot property. Xavi at Barcelona's getting off. So Ancelotti's getting off. So a lot of big teams in world football are losing managers. So watch for the merry-go-round in it. And ours might be included. But I won't be surprised if ours goes to Barcelona. They admire him over there. Dutch philosophy. And yeah, man. Big up Ten Hag and the boys, man. That's it.
Big up. Go ahead, Sean. We'll go back to Sean. Go ahead, Jarvis.
Yeah, just to come back to 2 points. One with Lesso, you talked about the manager has to learn to rotate. I agree, but it's not always just the manager. It's the players who needs to learn to rotate. They need to tell when they had enough, and that's also a problem because we have a lot of new players coming in, and we see the burnout again and again. So sometimes even players like Bruno, he needs to take self-responsibility. He needs to take responsibility for his own body. You can't play through injuries. You got to tell the gaffer, I can't go today. So it shouldn't be that hard. But we always think the short game, but the long run we fall out. We see in the burnout. We saw it last season. We played the Europa League, we played the League Cup final and the FA Cup final. It was too many games. We had 3 players with over 7,000 minutes of game time, I believe, last season, with Bruno, De Gea and Rashford. And we see 2 of them today. De Gea isn't here, but Rashford, he's never the player he was last season, and I think it's because of a burnout. It looks like he plays through an injury. He doesn't sprint anymore. I haven't seen a sprint from Rashford in a long time. And Bruno, now you see him limping off the pitch, taking injections to play.
We predicted it on this channel, Jarvis.
Yeah.
Overplay players.
Yeah, we are overplaying, and we learned this from Klopp. And Klopp did this with Liverpool, with Salah, with Mane, with Fabinho, all the big ones. They had one season off and everything went down the drain because Klopp overplayed them. So it was a burnout. And this is just the reality of the human anatomy. We need to rest sometime. We can't go all the time. It's impossible. We're not like Duracell bunnies. It's just like it changed a new battery and we just go again. It's not like that. We need to have some rest and recuperation sometimes. And another point with Eski is that I forgot about it. Just move on.
What did he say in terms of what the point? Eski, what point did you make? Were you making when you spoke? We said talked about the derby. We talking about the in Manchester.
Living in Manchester, I was this is to Sean's point because Sean was like the derby doesn't mean XYZ, and I was there like if you're local in Manchester, you have to bump into these guys.
You have to go to work with these people, man. We work with these people, man.
You have to go to work. They send us text messages, everything. Saeed's family, he knows what it's like. It's one of them in it. So I think the derby does still mean a lot.
Liverpool fans, they're City fans.
Oh, this is what I'm
saying. You know what my neighbors do? You know what my neighbors do? My neighbors get their kid to write the score and post it through the letter.
Oh, fuck off.
My God. Yeah, no, but like, of course the derby means like it's an important derby, right? What I was saying is that like the competition is not what it used to be, right? So United are not the club we used to be.
You know what
and so the stakes are lower. Yeah.
Listen, you know what we say in Manchester? There's a tradition. If you win the derby, the city belongs to you. If you lose it, you vacate the city. For the other, so they go and celebrate. That's what it is. So we always they say the blue moon rising. We say, you know what, the red devil crunching people. You know
Manchester is red. I had like some network issues a minute ago. I don't know how much of my closing this thing you guys got, but just to say that like for me, quite simply, it's not realistic to think that we're gonna get rid of all the players that we would like to get rid of. That's not a realistic thoughts. That's not in the realm of possibilities, in my opinion, and so that's not even something I'm countenancing. So when people say I want to get rid of Ten Hag along with X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, 10 players or 11 players, I'm just looking like, what are you really saying? Because that's never going to happen, right? No. So at the end of
if you got rid of Ten Hag and 5 players, I'll be happy. 5 players will do for me, long as it's the ones who are taking the piss.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Right?
Oli, the ones who got rid of Ranier, those ones have to go, and you know who they are.
I kind of agree with. I kind of agree with Gary Neville's take in the sense that, and this is something I said before also. I think the Sir Jim and these guys, Omar Beretta and all these guys, already have an assessment of where United is likely going to finish at the end of the season. There's not going to be a surprise, basically, to them that we wouldn't finish out in the top 4. So I think if they're going to sack Ten Hag, they're probably going to sack him very soon. Like it's going to be, that's why I said it's going to be around the corner that he'll be gone. If he makes it to the end of the season, I think we're going to see him next year. That's my own. If he makes it to the end of the season, I think he'll be here next year.
I totally disagree. I think they're going to just wait till the next season to start with the new manager if they're going to sack him. I don't think they're going to do it mid-season. I genuinely think that because they've not carried out their review yet. They're not finished their review. So they're doing the review, then they sort out the manager. I think he's safe till the end of the season. But for me, he has to show me something. For the couple of months that he has to show me something. I'm not against fucking relegation for that. I'm talking about in real big games. He has to show me players that can take the ball under pressure, that can keep the ball, that can create chances, and players that show fight to keep this manager. I don't see that. What are you laughing at? Stop sending weapons. Yeah, UK stop sending weapons to Israel. Yeah.
Well, I'm not laughing at that. That's serious business. But Guld Mohammed's
Jarvis, the polar bears swimming in the North Norway. Slavic at this time.
Well, yeah, no polar bears in Northern Norway. Yeah,
listen,
but
Jarvis needs to go.
On Svalbard.
Yeah, Jarvis needs to go to bed. We all need to go to bed. I was relieved Manchester United are through to the next round. I was so happy. I jumped up and then I sat down and thought, oh my God, it's going to be offside. Because I saw Varane on when the free kick was taken. I saw Varane was in an offside position and I thought, oh shit.
We're going all the way, guys. All the way to the FA Cup final. We're going all the way.
Let's hope.
Believe,
Let's hope,
believe.
Sean. Me and Sean are going to Wembley.
Wembley, Wembley.
Wembley! We're the famous Man United and we're going to Wembley. Wembley!
That's the energy that we need. Yes.
Come on, boys.
No, mate, it's the most hollow song I've ever heard in my life. We're the most famous Manchester United. We're going to Wembley. I wish we go to Wembley and avenge that cup defeat last season. I wish we can do that.
Yeah.
That's all we need, Nuruddin. Belief. That's all that there is in football. It's all vibes, and belief.
I
Believe.
swear to God.
Positive
Listen, I'm
narrative.
not gonna lie to you. Manchester United will be back one day, and I'm gonna be you. You don't know me when United winning big trophies. I am the most unbearable fucker on the planet. I am unbearable. I know every song. I'll be coming in, but I've been deprived of that because deep down I don't know that. That's why you never see me go for Liverpool or Arsenal or Man City because my team.
Well, let me ask you a question, Nuruddin. If Ten Hag wins the FA Cup,
listen,
if we win the FA Cup, are you Ten Hag in or out?
Listen, if you listen, no, because just not winning a trophy is not for me. The football is going to determine if Eric Ten Hag stays or not. Win cups or no cups. If football he plays, the rotation he does, the subs that who come on, how they play the game, exactly like the first team. That's what for me would be keeping him in his job. Not because we win a trophy, but I tell you this. The reason why I don't go at Liverpool, City, Arsenal, any of these teams is because it's like taking a spoon to a fucking machete.
Nah, you gotta go at Arsenal, man.
Or taking a spoon to a gunfight. I can't. The team and the club, the
nah.
have done what
Is it
they've
no
done.
banter? You gotta go at Arsenal. I told you, I'm in a group chat with Arsenal fans. They can never rest. Never.
I can't banter them.
Ever.
I can't.
Like,
They're playing
you have
amazing
to.
football. I can't.
Yeah.
They're playing amazing football.
One for call.
They won for call.
Listen,
We're both gonna end up trophyless this season.
Listen, they're gonna win something this season, and if they win the Champions League, Sean,
they're gonna win shit. They're gonna win shit. No, if they win Champions League, yeah. I mean, like my dad is an Arsenal fan, my brother's an Arsenal fan. I don't wanna deal with this, right? I hate Arsenal fans. Let me just put that out there. Hate the club, hate the fans. I don't want to deal with this, right? So yeah, you know the way they say like Spurs, like you Spurs it up. I think you should start saying it for Arsenal. I'm confident that Arsenal are gonna fuck whatever trophy chance that they have. They're gonna bottle it. Whether it's Champions League, like if they bond that football club well, they should not win against Porto because they've already lost the first leg. If they know what's good for them, they better win the second leg against Porto.
Listen, all I know is that the goalkeeper we should have had played in that game. You see how dominant he was on the crosses, where Arsenal been scoring lots of goals from corners. You see how dominant he was in the crosses.
Yeah, we have a rapper. We have a rapper as our goalkeeper. Onana is a musician.
We have a break dancer. We have a fucking break dancer. But anyway, listen, I want to say this. Esky, you'll never see him anywhere on social media. Jarvis is there. Bowley, BOLE77. Sean at Sean Thomas on Twitter. The podcast is Geopolitical Podcast. How we see things. I repeat, how we see things on all the podcast broadcasters. So check him out there. Lesso Football TV. Check him out. Big up to everybody. Love and light. And we'll see you for the derby, build up to the derby. I hate it. I hate this weekend. I already have wrote it. I'm already thinking, after Sunday, where can I go? I'm setting up cinema. Do I go cinema? Can I see if there's a live band on somewhere? You know what I mean?
Dune, the new Dune movie.
Do afterwards.
Dune 2 is coming out this weekend. Go watch Dune.
I'm going to watch Dune. There you go. Big up, Sean. Sunday night shorted. I need something to get out of it. I'm going to watch Dune on Sunday. Big up to everybody. Love and light. Please don't forget who's watching. Do you agree? Sean's specific question. Are you more of a stats person or more eye test? Eye test versus stat. Bruno, where do you stand with Bruno? Those of you watch this video later, get in the comments. Please share the channel, subscribe, like, let people know about this community. And we say for the 100th time, stop the genocide in Palestine. Stop the ethnic cleansing in Palestine. Stop the horrific child labor and genocide in the Congo. Stop what's going on in Sudan. Stop what's going on in Tigray and everywhere else, anywhere in this world where anybody's feeling oppressed. We stand with the oppressed against the oppressor. That's what we always do. Injustice anywhere, is injustice everywhere, people.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. So that is what we're on. Big up to everybody. Free Palestine, F Zionism, because it's supremacist. We're against any form of supremacy, one over the other. We're not here. And it's cruel, it's dehumanizing. Big up, and again, may he rest in peace. Aaron Bushnell took the ultimate sacrifice. We're not encouraging that. Please don't do anything like that to that extreme. Don't do anything like that. But we wish his family, his loved ones well, and our hearts and minds go out to them. Our condolences to them. He wasn't unwell. He did the most extreme form of protest. That's what people have done through historically to try to make a point. Take care, people. Love and light. Free fucking Palestine. We'll see you for the build-up for the derby. Most likely Friday. Most likely Friday. Big up everybody. Love and light. Peace. Take care. Good night.
Peace.
Peace.